Hi guys, survivor of narcissistic abuse here. You're fat. You're disgusting. You have nothing to offer in this world. And Clavicular Sri Lankan intern isn't responding to your DMs. Why is that? Because you will never ascend. I, Hayden Mojave, am starting a new sociological foundation for understanding fanboys with some funny acronym that I haven't came up yet. Because face it, becoming real man is far too arduous a task. I mean, who can even afford all of that? Just following Clavicular's instructions will cost you at least 3 grand in training courses, and you'll have to buy a large hammer to smash your face in, and you'll have to live with a resounding, unsettling feeling for the rest of your life after you follow him onto Peter Thiel's private island and proceed to forget an entire weekend. Well, I have decided that my people, mi gente, my subsection, fanboys, people of that ilk and caliber, deserve to be understood, known, and treated as equal. I'm starting a fanboy rights movement, and I thought I would start by making a Looksmaxxing guides for everyone who doesn't want to look like a beefed up roid cake, but instead wants to be, spat and hit on. So that's what this video is going to be. I'm going to interview people who are very proficient in their fields at, being gay boys. And we are going to learn how they do it, how they achieve their means, what it means to them, and how it feels to be so stunning and #brave. Hi
Wow.
guys, Smart School Day 1488 here. I have with me my good friend Daytwinking Twix here to discuss the push west of Islam in the 15th century. Question number 1. How would you describe what it is that you do?
Uh, it's different. I mean, it's been a year now if we're talking about what it is that I do in this context. Obviously, people would call it like body posting. Some people call it whorish. It kind of started out as like just a boredom thing. I would say it's thirst traps, I guess, if people
Right.
still say that. But it's never been anything more to me than just I like seeing numbers go up, and I don't even see it as like a social media thing. I don't know, I did it and I got buzz in my brain, so it's
Very
fun.
cute. You like the affirmation that comes from that then? There's something that you get from presenting yourself the way that you do for the approval of people.
Definitely. I mean, I'm a very insecure person in a lot of ways, and yeah, it's obviously nice because I mean, it's like the way it's sort of made to be. People like think you look pretty. Oh, that feels good. So it's like, it guess it kind of stemmed from that maybe a little bit. And I think now, I mean, I don't want to sound egotistical, but like you do get numb to it a little bit.
For sure.
But I think, yeah, it was definitely probably built on the affirmation side.
I get that. I got over 200 views on my last video. You couldn't tell me nothing, huh? Oh my goodness. Do you feel like this is a way of coming into a power that you didn't have before?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's probably fed my ego too many ways that it shouldn't have. I don't know. It's like going from someone that's like terminally like anxious of anything to now like I actually have a semblance of confidence. So maybe, I mean, I don't like to think I use it in any way, but it's very interesting how shameless and pathetic people are when they see that you have a big number next to your name.
So it props you
That's
up in
true.
real life. Like people see your Twitter account and you go, they're like, holy shit, it's
Oh yeah, and I get like
daytwinking.com.
food for free and everything. I go on like those red carpets. Yeah, it's basically I'm living the life.
Did you just say food for free?
Yeah, that's I mean, I'm fat, so the first thing I thought of was food. Sorry. I mean, God.
Cofwl can relate.
Dude, I
Yeah.
love food.
I would be waiting at that red carpet for you, my baby. Unfurl that red carpet from that boho. Let me plant
Oh
my
my God.
golden. What the pole with the velvet?
We
We
need to
are trying to
partition it
open.
like that.
We're trying to open and hold space for people of non-fame status, which is obviously why Cofwl is here. Um,
Yes.
we're we're
I fell off so
disability
hard. I get
proud.
like 3 likes on my
Yeah.
tweets now.
I'm one of those
True.
three.
You
I'm
liked one
not.
of my tweets like a
I'm
week
not.
ago. That
Yeah,
felt
well,
refreshing. I was like, oh, I still got that pull.
I'll be honest. There's nothing there for people like me who are successful. But speaking of, as a disability employer, when you age regress, is it something that's like for fun, or is it something to fulfill like a deep psychological fixation? This question is open to Cofwl as well.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, Cofwl is obviously far more experienced in the subject than I. I like to consider
Oh,
myself, I like to keep my horizons broad and, accept all walks of life. And I feel like it's 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 an experience that I like to just stay informed on. I like to think there's no psychological need for it, but I do encourage everyone to indulge in a little bit of binkification.
I've actually kind of wondered this, if you have any fears or concerns when it comes to aging, actually, in like a serious realm, because the identity that both of us inhabit is one that's very temporal. It's very linked to how we are right now. And people love what you have, and they like what I have too, to a lesser degree. Probably because of how temporal that is, how it escapes people, how it's not something you can hold on to for so long, and it's not a role that many people can fill. Being, submissive in some elements, and of being, young and willing. Does time going by to fear you at all?
100%. I'd say I'm not like necessarily a fearful person, but I think time is probably the scariest thing of all, especially in terms of physicality. And I'm not like the most vain person, but I think everyone likes looking nice. And then obviously, like the infamous like twink death and shit like that. People are always on about like, it's very, very temporary. And I'm not the type to really do a lot to preserve that. So I guess that's one thing, that a lot of people do so much more than the bare minimum I do is just stay hydrated. Um, I feel like it does fear me, and like there's always the jokes of like, oh, like 28, it's all over.
Mm.
I cannot visualize life past this, and I don't think that's necessarily like unnatural, but I think, yeah, it's probably my greatest fear because I think something like this, I don't want to invest myself too much into. It's
Mm.
very casual for me, but when it becomes your primary identity of this very temporary state, it can be probably even more crippling in terms of like that fear. But
Mm.
I don't know. I like to think that by 30, I probably either would have killed myself.
I think your online identity is like it's kind of evolving past the just body posting. You post a lot, and it's all just like you shape the gay culture. You shape the depraved faggot culture. I
Have I
respect it
become
a
a
lot.
part of like the homosexual zeitgeist now? Am I like actually that level of
I
influencer?
think you I
Can
think you
oh,
are influential, but like the stuff you post, you do a good
Back
job. You do very targeted marketing here.
back in the 80s,
I
you
yeah,
literally just had to like, have a bunch of sex and have AIDS to get famous. Now you have to like say funny things on Twitter.
and have AIDS, which I don't want to consider myself anything. I mean, I like to avoid uh I mean, slop is used so much. I have been guilty of the occasional slop posting, but there is particular individuals that I don't want to be like in the sense of it's just like borderline Reddit tier, just shit. Um,
And you can call him out
I,
by name. Fuck you, Xavieri is near.
Whoa.
She can't hear this.
um,
She's dead in Ukraine somewhere.
oh, okay. Basically, yeah, I don't want to do anything that would make myself cringe, and like if it does make me cringe, I'll delete it. But there's definitely like things I've done that I'm like, oh yeah, this will do numbers. But half the time, I like to do it for fun because if it gets to the point where it's just doing numbers, then there's like no point in doing it for me. So it's very much if I don't fuck with it, I don't post it.
Do you know why you feel such a strong drawing towards getting power the way that you do? Um, which is something that's kind of a new identity. Not many people live the way that we do. I mean, most people think of fanboys and things that are like that as just an archetypical porn category. But we are people who exist in the real world. This is a way that you present most of the time. Do you recognize or know why you feel so strongly drawn towards those aesthetics instead of like a normative male one? Instead of like, I want to go to the gym and get a hot wife. Do you know what
Yeah.
culture?
Yeah, I think it's as a lot. I mean, I've thought about this a ton. I mean, the whole like being gay thing. Shocker, I know, sorry guys. Um, yeah, it was never really a question. Like bisexuality was the question. Was it like, do I like women? It was never a question if I like men. Um, we can like get really deep into this. If I think of it from like an actual psychological level, probably some mother issues, probably some other environmental issues. Um, I think I grew up in a very feminine household, and I think that sort of thing was very natural at a very not liberal, but very accepting family. Um, so I think it was never really a question, and I was always the sensitive one. So it's like very much, even though I'm the only son of my family, it's very much, it was never an expectation to be good at sport, good at anything. So I think if we're like going in some fucking like Freudian level of psychology, maybe it's just something that I'm attracted to because it wasn't present in my life, or it's just that I don't know. I really don't like thinking, so I just want a guy to do the thinking for me because men know best, I guess.
These are some very, very well thought out answers. Do you do a lot of thinking about yourself? Have you had to?
Uh, I like to think a lot in terms of myself because the past year or so it's been very mind-opening, or eye-opening, should I say, rather than that, in terms of my own reality and existence and how I've lived my life. So I've had a lot of like a very introspective period of my life. And I don't know, I think I've always been a bit of a thinker. I like to expand upon things, and I do interview a lot of people often, so it's not really unnatural for me to sort of expand, I guess, in that sense. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I like to think about things before I talk about them.
You interview people? Are you stopping people on the street for like TikTok?
Uh, I have before for a job. Um,
Wow.
yeah,
You're the
I've
person
made
marketing like the boo boo, like Dubai with the Riz and on the phone and stuff. You're asking people name
yeah,
5 big cities. I couldn't
yeah.
do that. If you came up to me on the street, I would start peeing myself. Huge boner.
I'd be into that, so it's fine.
Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. Maybe we should make this call a little bit more private.
We'll save that for
Um.
Moving
after.
channels.
Wow, that's the perks of being bimbo pilled.
I'm
Take
happy
a
to go
stand.
full
We stand.
binky, bro. I don't mind.
We're all going full blinky, dude.
I've
Hell
been
yeah.
binky moding this whole time. But I wanted to ask, you say that you don't put a lot of effort, or you don't necessarily have to put a lot of effort into preserving your looks. Um, but what are your thoughts on people who do, and do you think that estrogen is the way?
Wow, that is a good question. For like the first half of it, the question, I wish I had that motivation and I wish I had the money, surprisingly. Very broke. I know. Um, it's I respect it a lot. Currently, like I guess if you want to call my routine, is I just drink a shit ton of water. Um, I eat like 2 meals a day and like a bunch of snacks. People think I'm like starve maxing. I'm really not. Um,
So freaking healthy, bro.
yeah, yeah, and like I'll exfoliate my skin and have a shower a day, and like that's pretty much it. To the people that like wear sunscreen every day, fucking have serums, oils, all that shit, and like face wash in the morning and the evening, like
Don't
props
diss
to you for that.
sunscreen, bro. Sunscreen's goaded.
Yeah, I
You
know,
guys
but
are
it's like an
ghosts.
investment thing, and that's the problem. I'm not investing long
Yeah.
term. So as much as this is great now, I just have to thank genetics a lot, and people are like, "Oh, that's so fake." People also do think I'm FTM, which is also thanks, I think. Um, so yeah, thanks to my Puna genes.
Pooner Nation
Shout out
rise.
Fidelis.
Yeah, shout out to my uterus.
Shout
Um,
out Caitlyn Jenner. She taught me today.
yeah. And then to the idea of like, I don't think it's like crazy. I respect it, and I think I wish I had that motivation. I'm just really fucking lazy. To the people that think estrogen is the way, to be honest, I've had the thought at times, very much on and off. Um, Again, because it's that question of time, and then some people talk about that preservation of like, oh, either rope or E, it's the question. Um, it's interesting because I don't doubt anyone that does it. I'm friends with plenty of people that do it, and I think, props to them. It's also the question of though, it's not necessarily preserving yourself. You are kind of evolving into something slightly different, and it's being comfortable with that. I think it's still aesthetically pleasing to me, and it definitely works for a lot of people. For now, I'm like, I don't think it's necessary in my future, but like, I don't know. If the Norwood Reaper starts coming, I might, reconsider
Yeah,
for now.
I think that is pretty harm reductionist for people who feel a little bit scared of changing into something new. It does prevent them from, like, heroin or worse, Amazon thigh highs, which are archetypes that we aren't doing. We are like the Gregs of fanboys, not the Rowleys or the Fraglies, which are the fats and the sissies.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem for me. I would rather someone shoot up some estrogen than put on some Amazon thigh highs. Um,
Because of your
I,
sensory issues.
yeah, so my spag ass cannot handle that nylon or whatever the fuck it is. What is it?
Yeah, 100% polyester.
Yeah,
Oh,
polyester. Yeah, that's it.
why is everyone autistic? Actually, that's a discussion for another day on my next video, why autism isn't real. So I
Okay.
think that I would like to leave our audience with some words, some tips, some advice. What would you say to somebody who wants to present the way that you do, or who has an admiration towards the way you present yourself and who you are?
Wow. Well, if you really do want to be like this, I really do think, as much as it's like probably the most stupid way of thinking, is understanding yourself the most first and understanding what it is about you that is your strong suits and playing up to them. I'm very aware of what I think looks best on me, even though I don't really like it. I'm aware what's better and what's not. It's also just,
What do you
again,
mean,
following
even if you
crowds.
don't really like it there?
As in, like me?
Yeah, you said I'm fully aware of what people like, even if I don't really like it. Like, do you try to appeal to that really, or because you said you were just like naturally like this anyway?
Yeah, like I've never, because I don't work out. I don't really exercise at all besides like a little bit of walking here and then. And I've never sort of chased this. I really did just fall into it in the sense of I just had a really, I guess, unhealthy lifestyle that just kind of blessed me with this type of shit. Um, I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's understanding those things about you that you don't necessarily like that can be still good. I think it's understanding like you can't be like me and I can't be like you. And I think that's the big problem. And especially that's what started the whole like Amazon fucking thigh high shit. It's just so crowded and so like everyone falls into it because that's the conception of beauty or these crowds, and it's just falling into that idea is what makes you so much more less because it's just what others are thinking. I think it's understanding yourself. In terms of actually doing this, don't take it seriously. It's like, I mean, if you're wanting to do like full on body posting shit, it's all just dumb. I really don't recommend it. I don't think it's like harmful, but I think to the people that are in my DMs that are just constantly like asking for things like this and that, it's just
They'll
do
never
it
be
for
you.
yourself.
Are they
You'll never
asking
be
for like
me.
collabs
Yeah.
and shit? What is happening? What is
Oh, I
happening in their
retweet,
DMs?
retweet for retweet, like collabs,
Oh,
fucking
Oh
like
my
skin,
god,
and I'm
it's
like,
too fucking competitive, bro.
I mean, I'm
my
always
daughter
happy
just
to give
got,
advice.
captured by the Iranians.
Oh
Please
yeah.
help me. Please retweet. I'm trying to escape an abusive, situation right now,
Yeah.
guys.
If you can afford my retweet price, but like, it's quite steep. I think I don't really sure where else I can go with this in terms of what you can do. I think it's also just confidence to try it. I think in the first place. I mean, people just think like makeup and all that shit, but realistically, it's just have a good diet, stay relatively active, and I think the biggest part of it is confidence. You know, if you pose it, fake it, you'll make it.
Personally, my
That's
Twitter did help
100%
my
it.
confidence. Yeah, it does work.
You got to find the appeal. You want to find something that resonates with you and something that makes sense for how you understand power and what you can do with the power that you're given. Some people don't.
Exactly.
Some people don't come towards it. There's a lot of people. The reason I think that cross-dressing is so frowned upon, but why there are so many sissies who have it as a fetish, is because they know it's power that they can't actually hold, and it's not ones that they express in their everyday life very usually. Most sissies, and a lot of cross-dressers especially, are people who are men and have very normal male power. They want to give it up for a select period of time. What's different about you or I or Cofwl is that this is a thing that we literally live in. There's not a greater power to aspire towards because it's kind of not contained in our bodies. It's not a thing that we can just push ourselves towards and gain. We are, naturally drawn towards certain things. We're drawn towards men, for one, and towards being seen as something by those men. I think that that's what demarcates, your sissy from high to
Yeah,
beta.
I think, yeah, and this one of the things I really struggle with the most is the association with these like I don't want to say communities because at the end of the day it's like how you say this is just who we are. It's not like a community. It's like I didn't know what the fuck a femboy was when I was like 15, 14. Like, I've been dressing like this since I was like 16, to the point where I had like a form of like independence and individuality of like thinking, my own money, my own ways of just when it was truly like a time for self-expression. And I just naturally gravitated towards that. Like I never had an Amazon thigh or like fucking thigh high phase or fucking, Temu fucking, skirt spinny phase. I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm just saying like you can do much better than that. And I think it's when that sort of overlap of people who just genuinely express themselves this way to people who do it in that sissified, cross-dressing way. It's like props to you and props to them. But then I get like DMs saying like, oh, this, and that. I'm just like, I don't, I don't want to be seen that way. And that's why like even now being called like a femboy,
Mm-hmm.
I cringe at that because now that when I think of femboy, I think of what people thought of sissy like 10 years ago because that's what it's
100%.
become to. And I think it's definitely very much just that down to the idea when it's someone's a part of their identity or someone think like about their obsession. And I think it's definitely a difference of relinquishing that power or, indulging into something that's, a need rather than an identity. It's very, it's hard because it's I think representation and things like that. It's like I'm not saying we need femboy representation, like fucking the femboy marches in fucking Australia. Oh my god.
We need
Um.
Finster in
Power
our
to them, bro.
movies.
Oh my god. Yeah.
They're actually going to make
Finsto. Wow.
a movie about Finster. It's my movie about me escaping Finster's transsexual fat camp.
You brought a tear to my eye. Yeah.
Yeah, called The
Hearing
Boy
about
in the
that.
Stripy Thigh Highs.
The main reason I moved from Birmingham was purely because I was scared that I would run into them one day. So.
And you wouldn't be able to resist. It would be
Uh,
all night like rabbits. So I think that we've covered a lot of ground, and I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you. I hope everyone goes and follows and likes and retweets. Hi guys, I like when women make fun of my tiny penis and hit me across the face. So these are actually going to be my tips on how I achieve my femboy aesthetic. There are 5 main things that you need to be in control of if you want to maximize your foyboy potential. And if you're not following these tips, then you can shoot me in my fat fucking face and drag me across concrete with my guts all strewn out and kick me. Number 1, gym. When you're at the gym, know that this is a death match, this is a free-for-all, and every woman who's next to you on the stair machine is trying to murder you. And the only way for you to persevere to get through this is to completely annihilate her in a way that would be very embarrassing if you weren't going to the gym by yourself, making up fake scenarios in your head to compete with women. Women aren't evil, unfortunately, that's the truth, because they want to defile young, beautiful men's temples and they want to make them, beholden to their own subaltern victim status. Remember when you're at the gym to always keep your headphones in and to never speak to anybody ever because they're all on the prowl and they all want to kill you. Earlier at the gym today I went to, I saw this man on the squat machine, and he was like high-key finger blasting himself. And I didn't interrupt because let strangers have fun. Number 2, pills. So when I started my regimen, I actually went to the doctors to cure my, like, I don't know, my cancer, AIDS of the soul, or whatever I have. I don't know, the reason why all my hair is falling out and why all my friends hate me. And he prescribed me with finasteride instead. I don't really know what's up with that, actually. I need to take pills for my diet as well because I am a vegetarian. A lot of people say that I'm like an evil, disgusting, abhorrent person, and they're not entirely wrong, so I realize that I do need to have some redeeming quality. So yeah, I don't eat meat, and low-key, you are Hitler if you do eat meat. Except for chickens, which are soulless, without conscience, and not deserving of moral consideration. They kind of disgust me, and they're very strange, so I wouldn't really care if you ate one of those. Point number 3, fashion. So, considering a lot of people are only femboys in the bedroom and never out in the real world, this is actually kind of, you know, a bold new frontier, actually. And I am qualified to talk on fashion, as you can tell by this here. My goodness. It's actually a dragon. And it's got stuff on the side of the arms too. I know how to flatter my body, and that is by covering it up. What differentiates a femme chad from a low-tier trin is their own aesthetic sensibility. People don't understand that what you do when you wear anything is express a kind of hidden desire that exists deeper within you, how you wish other people to observe you, and how you want to be seen in the best light. If the best light that you can be seen in is polyester skirts, then probably you need to be reconditioned. You also need to remember when you're shopping that you are trying to look like a girly boy, and not a man who kills women to steal their skin and wear it. Number 4, makeup. So coming to me for any kind of beauty advice or makeup is a lot like asking a blind man to give you directions. Just because he can't see doesn't mean that he doesn't know where he's going. And just because I look like this doesn't mean that I can't tell you that you are ugly. I like to just put stuff underneath my eyes, like a lot of it, just like a big smush, because of this protrusive kind of caveman brow thing that I have going on. That means that there's no space on my actual eyelids. Thank you to my presumably Mongolian father. And if you really don't know where to start in terms of makeup, just Asian fish, I guess. Everybody's doing it. I'm personally very inspired by Belle Delphine. Number 5, sex appeal. A lot of people get into fanboyism as a kind of sexual archetype to fulfill. You know, you want to be a subjugatory party, and you want to be the object of ritual fascination for men to imprint themselves upon. I would say that it does completely change the way in which you are viewed in terms of the sexuality people presume of you. And the most powerful thing you can do with that is to actually be chaste. For one day when you wake up next to a man who's wearing a bunny hat and you realize that you spent your last night smushing your tiny non-erect penises together in some kind of weird simulacra of actual love, you will realize that nothing in the world compares to the love that you can get from him. Yay, thank you all for watching. I'm Hayden Vlone Summer. If you want more tips, please do follow me on Twitter and come into my DMs. You can do whatever the hell you want there. If this video gets 3 views, I will hang myself on camera. And thank you. I love you.